Hey, welcome back to After the Episode, brought to you by Line Cutters, the adjustable ring that cuts fishing line. Welcome back. Hey, Theresa and I have been getting a question quite consistently ever since we've got these Hobie compasses. And that question is, will they perform well, BTB, offshore? Now, as you saw in Thursday's episode, we took the Hobie compasses out off the beach for the very first time. Now I give you, this was not a very rough day. This was swimming pool conditions. But it did give me a vibe, a feel for how the compass was going to act offshore. We still had that offshore slight roll that you get. There was no breaking waves, but I still got an understanding of how this boat is going to perform.
Actually, the first time BTB with the compass. Even though this is a calmer day, I can tell a few things already. First thing I've noticed is that I'm faster than I am in an Outback, obviously. Got the sharp nose. Second thing I noticed is if there is a chop, you're more likely to take one over the bow than you would in an Outback because the nose is so much lower, sidewalls are so much lower. But I like to go on calm days anyway, so not much of a problem here. I'd rather have the speed and be able to cut the wind and cut the current, chase the birds like right now, because you can feel that nose just slicing into the water rather than the blunt end of an Outback. Although the Outback is, you know, just meat and potatoes, man. I can't knock an Outback. I love my Outback. If this thing can handle BTB, you have a winner, because it's killing the flats, because it's more stable than an Outback to stand in. And if you can stand on the flats, you're going to increase your game tenfold. So I don't know, this boat's looking up. Let's get into these birds.
Alright, stability. Take a look at the Outback rear end and the compass rear end, the stern if you will. You will see how the Outback tapers down to a point, but the compass is very wide behind the seat and it maintains that width almost all the way to the back end. Kind of squared off like a pro angler. This gives you a lot more stability, and because of that, I was able to do something I don't do very often. Even with the slow pitch, the slow roll of the Gulf, I was able to stand and sight cast in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's some shots of me jumping up very comfortably. Now, I could do this in the Outback, but I was very limited. I could only do it for a second, a little while, then I had to sit down, especially if there were some rollers. But with the compass, I'm a lot more comfortable, even with the slight pitch and roll. It's just more stable than a Outback. Now, if you weigh more than 220 or 230, the compass may not be the boat for you. Outback is a lot thicker, chunkier, but having said that, man, if you're less than like 230, the compass is off the chain, man, and it did the job, BTB.
Oh, they're on it. Fish on!
So in summation, I really enjoyed the compass on the flats because I love to stand. And here I am offshore on a calm day, but once again enjoying the standability of the Hobie compass. Now, I was fighting some big fish this day, and it still was absolutely no problem. Now, before I took the Hobie compass offshore, I was in love with the stability on the flats and how super light this boat is. Now that I've taken it BTB, I love it even more. Hey, if you ever get a chance, go to your local shop, give the Hobie compass a try, and I think you might be surprised. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time right here on Line Cutters After the Episode.